Welcome back to the Build, Conquer, Repeat podcast, week 7 of the Fury 56 Challenge. We got a couple things to go over. 1, consistency. 2, protein. 3, has yet to be determined. We'll talk about that later. It's a surprise. But first,
we niff.
Hey, boys.
You get the new. Good luck.
Ready?
Shake, pank, pank.
Ooh.
Oh.
Dude, the other one's been open
Good
for a
measure.
while. God! It's not the day.
That was what the day was
That
for.
was what the day was going to be. I thought it was going to be the day, dude.
Today's not the day.
All that hype for nothing.
One day I will hit you right in the phone. So, here we are, week 7. 49 days deep into this challenge. Yet, you guys are doing a great job. But there's some things that we need to, like I always told, anything after but is like anything that's said and then but comes after is not sincere. You guys heard that?
Yeah.
Sweet.
But I want to be sincere. You guys are doing a great job.
I feel it.
What?
Yeah, they are. No, they are.
Why are you looking at me like that? Although we can have some things that we need to improve on. Right?
Although still counts, though.
Although.
It's not but. It's all
So they're not doing a great job.
You guys are doing okay. But here's the thing, all right? We are 49 days deep into this challenge, and yet there's not a single one of you that has hit your protein consistently, right? So the thing that kind of is crazy is that you signed up for this challenge to do these things. The one thing was from the very first week we talked about was dialing in your nutrition. I'm at loss of words of why that is not happening still. We are on the right path, and I understand that this takes a long time to do. But the whole point of the Fury 56 was 8 weeks of dedication and focus and consistency, doing it day in and day out. So when we're posting on the Fury 56 group that today was not a good week of tracking, or this week wasn't a good week of tracking, that is a week out of 8 that you didn't do it right. And that's been multiple times in a row. Mm-hmm. And the thing is like, I love all you guys, and it's awesome that you guys are doing this challenge, but at some point, we got to quit sugarcoating it. The reason you're not seeing results is because this has not been consistent, right? It's tough love. It's not that I think less of you guys or anything like that. It's just that this has to happen for you guys to get results. If you're 7 weeks deep already and you're not where you want to, why? It's consistency is not there. Consistency is not there. Mm-hmm. Attention to detail. Come on now. You guys had 49 days to dial this in. We're still struggling with week 1 stuff. So we're going to go over a plan of attack and just kind of pound this back into the skull of how we're going to make this happen. Because we have 1 week left after this week. And this week is what we're going to call the weed out week. Okay? Every single day we're going to hit our protein, and those who can't do it or are not doing it are out. So this week counts. This podcast is going to drop Sunday. So today. So you will hear it tonight because I'm going to make sure we post about it today. And then you guys can hear that and dial it in. 1 day. Because I think our top contender right now has hit 5 out of the 7 days. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. 5 out of the 7 days that has crushed her protein, or his or her protein intake. Right? The rest of us haven't. And we've made strides. Like, the thing is like, don't take this as me saying you guys are doing a bad job, because we've also seen improvement, right? People are losing weight, people are gaining weight. But the whole thing in the very beginning was consistency and who can do it the most frequent and keep going. Mm-hmm. Because that's the only way in 8 weeks you guys are going to make a drastic change, right?
Yeah.
If you've lost 5 pounds or gained 5 pounds in 6 weeks, that's good. What could have you done if you were more consistent? Right? Could it have been 8 to 10? Probably.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So this was to push the limits and not have excuses on why you can't. You guys signed up for the Fury 56, which was not for the weak. Don't act weak. You guys are all strong enough to have it all. Don't be too weak to take it. So let's go over that real quick. So Mike, you see, like a lot of people are not hitting their protein intake because they're not consistent. What would be one of the biggest reasons why consistency is an issue with protein intake?
Yeah, I think one thing I think that has always helped us is like having a game plan in terms of like what you're gonna maybe prep for it, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of you guys you're still like, I know I need to hit this number, but you haven't made any changes in terms of like what you're adding in to each meal, for snacks, for like additional sources of protein. So I think we need to kind of come up with like reasons why you're not consistent with the protein.
Yeah.
And have that implemented this week, because that's what Chance was saying earlier. I think that's like one of the number one things we're not seeing hit consistently is protein is just, for most people, far, far too little. Mm-hmm. So we all probably need to boost our protein in terms of like what we're eating day to day. So come up with a strategy, come up with sample meals that we can be adding into what we're already doing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and in terms of roadblocks, like that can either be your own behavior, that could be maybe life stuff, but it comes down to a level of self-awareness that maybe you don't have. You've gone 7 weeks of working on this one thing and it's still not there, and you're still not aware enough to take care of those roadblocks in the way when it's something you're striving for. So then we need to be a little more self-aware and identify what those roadblocks are in order to get rid of them.
Because at the end of the day, your nutrition, what you eat, is all under your control. No one's force feeding you, putting a funnel down your mouth and feeding you nothing but sauerkraut till you're 26 and a half years old. But yeah, that's the one thing you can control. So we got to figure out what is stopping you. What is that thing that is not allowing you? Maybe you need to set timers on your phone. Maybe we need to have like snack alarms. I've had snack alarms. Or you just don't have an idea of what we need to be eating, like what is high protein, all that. Or it just boils down to the fact that it's just mentally lazy, right? You're just not in it. So let's kind of, what we want out of this portion of the challenge is you guys to identify why you're not being consistent, right? Because if you're going to post on the group, say it's not a good week of tracking, that's like me punching Trey in the face and be like, sorry, and then hitting him again. Sorry. Hey, yeah. Sorry. Like, when does it become insincere, right? So one of the ideas that we had was, we were thinking of us doing kind of a Fury 56 cook-off, right? So you guys cook a high-protein snack, not a meal, because we have ideas for meals in the Fury 56 group, and then bring them in and we'll judge the snack. So
a cook-off.
Or dessert.
Yeah, preferably.
For us. We're going to be consuming it. Well, I think you guys just do a quick Google search, and it's kind of cool because nowadays there's so much information out there in terms of like healthy alternatives. You got like protein cookies, you got like even like cakes, pies, little treats that you can be making with like using, instead of like flour or some of those other sources, you can use like protein powder for a lot of stuff and make like healthy alternatives, or just have like other snacks or treats that have like a protein base, whether it be like cottage cheese or whether it be like Greek yogurt. But there's tons of options out there. And like just people that have YouTube channels or just lists of stuff you can try. So go ahead and just like do a quick search if you don't have ideas, and then pick something like a treat you like and see if there's a healthy alternative or a protein rich alternative that you could kind of throw into your normal nutrition or routine.
Yeah. I mean, because the thing is you guys are great cooks. You've brought us food, like most of you have brought us food, and we know you can cook very well. So give your secrets away, like let's help these people that are struggling with their protein intake. And honestly, at the end of the week, like this week, I want you guys just to hit your protein. Don't worry about your calories. You don't worry about your fats. Don't worry about your carbs. Just try to get within 10 grams, either surplus or deficit of that protein, right? Because we're not getting anywhere close. It's not a 4-day-a-week job, right? It's every day consistent. That's the only way we're going to make progress. The only way we're going to move the needle where we want it to go, either forward or backwards in terms of weight. But if we can't do that basic step of eating enough protein, we're just sabotaging ourselves. We want you guys to be the strongest version of yourself that you can be. And this podcast is not to just talk and belittle and talk down to you guys, but that is the issue here. You guys sign up for a 7 or 8 week challenge, And nobody, almost, I think 0% has been consistent with their protein.
Yeah.
7 out of 7 days.
7 out of
Yeah.
7 days.
No,
right?
Not at all. And that's just the diet overall is under your control, but the protein is just one factor.
Yeah.
That's one thing, that you can control. So if we can't get that one thing, how are we going to get the rest?
We have this week and one more week left, right? This week is all about hitting your protein, coming up, posting your ideas and bringing in some food for us to judge. We'll post some videos of us, scoring the food. I think that'll be kind of fun, based on taste, macros, calculate your macros for your snack, post and share it, bring it in. We'll give it a good taste test and review. But just kind of take that into consideration, right? Like when you listen to this podcast, just remember, it's like you guys did not give it 100% if you're not hitting your protein intake, because the macros aren't going to add up. Calories aren't going to add up. Everything that you guys are wanting as far as weight loss or weight gain isn't going to add up. And this challenge was not based on weight loss or weight gain. It was based on consistent, who could do their nutrition the most consistent. We said that on week 1. This wasn't a fat loss challenge. This wasn't a gain the most weight challenge. It was literally who can be most consistent. And right now there is one person that is the most consistent.
Yeah.
And there's still room for improvement.
Yeah.
Right? She can still go up or down. He can still go up or down.
Yeah. And that I don't know if we addressed this, the cook-off is something we can kind of have fun with and give you guys some ideas, but we want you to take a deep dive into the roadblocks and identify at least 3 things that are keeping you from being consistent, right?
Yeah. We didn't dive into that yet.
Yeah, we want you to take a real serious dive into that and identify at least 3 things and then post that into the group, and then take another step and try to problem solve how you can work around those things. And then that's something we can brainstorm too in the group. Once you post, we can respond
and try not to be vague, right? Like if it's look into your diet. Are you not getting 40 grams of protein every 3 hours? You're not having your snacks. Is your breakfast lacking on protein? Is your dinner time lacking on protein? When are you eating? Like, look into and try to fix that. So maybe you're having 15 grams of protein for breakfast. What else can you add in there that's going to bump you another, 20, 30 grams of protein a day? Because honestly, when I did my 8-week cut, I was within 10 grams of my protein every single day. And if by the time my head hit the pillow, my protein wasn't there, I was staying up to get it. Because the thing is I wanted results in a quick fashion. I didn't want to this dieting stuff where you're counting calories and stuff like that. It sucks. No one likes doing it. I want to do it for as short amount of time as possible, right? When I'm in a deficit. I don't want to have to do this day in and day out for a year, because that's when people burn out, right? If you go really hard into the paint for 8 weeks and you get a lot of progress, you're going to feel good about yourself. You're going to give that time afterwards to just kind of like, what needs to be done, but you don't have to be so focused. So that's why I wanted the 56-day challenge. That's why I wanted it to be 8 weeks, so you guys could dive in and go hard for 8 weeks and then give yourself a break and take it off. You've learned your lessons. You've learned what to do and how to get there. After that, you guys can kind of pull the reins back, relax, eat like a normal person again. You don't want to do this for years. People who track their calories day in and day out for years, and that is beyond me, because I can't do it. I can only do it for short stints at a time. Right? There might be that anomaly out there. Rachel is probably that person that can track every single day, but I can't.
Yeah.
Right? It's just too much mental effort and focus. So that was the point of this being such a short challenge. If it was just going to be a lifestyle change, I wouldn't care that we're not super focused. We're getting better every week, which most of us are. We're getting better every week. Great. But that should have been already dialed in by week 2. Right? That should be something that's like day 1 stuff in this challenge. That should not even be a question anymore. So when we come into week 7 and we're sitting here brainstorming of what other challenge should we throw at you, why would we throw any more challenges if we can't hit the very first week challenges done and get those done? I feel like I'm just lecturing. I don't want to just be like I don't want to be like dad over here. Just
You've gone full dad.
Sorry, guys.
Full dad.
I really didn't want to be like that, but
Well, I just think we're seeing that a lot of people, like maybe in terms of like the weight changes, we're not. It's like, it hasn't changed much, right? A lot of people have made a dramatic transition or change.
No.
Maybe not reach their goals, and we're just trying to make that kind of obvious to you. Like that's why we want you to write out specifically why the consistency is not there. Because we're all like, you can vaguely put like, yeah, I'm not doing good, or but you need to know why. You need to make it specific, and we need to like. That's why we want it written down, black and white on paper, so you can stop just having this vague excuse of like, oh, I just had a rough week, not consistent. Because you're gonna just forever be stuck where you're at, or stuck in this loop of some weeks you're good, some weeks you're bad. You kind of have to have a zero options mentality in terms of like, this is it. Like, I have to be consistent, or of course, no diet, any kind of nutrition plan is not going to work if you're not consistent with it.
Yeah.
So just calling yourself out and like realizing why you're not consistent, and then writing it out and let us all see why. And if you can list out specifically why you're not consistent and you still like need some ideas, we can help you. But we have to like know why, because we can see your numbers, we can look at it, and we don't know what you're going on in your head in terms of like maybe your planning, maybe your mental focus. So really just try to make it as specific as possible so you can get some help and guidance. But that's definitely, like why you guys aren't seeing that change is like Chancellor says, just consistency.
yeah. And the thing is blows my mind is my clients know better. You know that I'm going to give you the tough love. I'm going to call you out when it's bullshit. So that's my whole goal in this podcast, because every single one of you that is in this group should be writing something this week.
Yeah.
Because no one has hit it consistently.
Well, that's why we make you guys post it, right?
Yeah.
We want you guys to see your weight, see your numbers, because it's so easy to just make excuses to yourself. So this whole time has been kind of calling yourself out by being honest.
Yeah.
'Cause it's a lot harder when you have other people, 25 other people looking at how you're messing up week in, week out. And that's the whole part of like the accountability that we're trying to help you with. But I feel like people are just kind of like lackadaisical still, right? It's gone on, like Chancellor said, for 7 weeks. And you're still just like, yeah, I'm not doing it.
And we can't hold your hand, right? And here's another thing, right? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and getting the same result. How many times have you guys tried to lose weight or put on weight and you are still in the challenge where it was supposed to be 100%, give it your all, are still doing the same as you've done in the past, right? You've probably all tried to lose weight, for those of us trying to lose weight, and not lost weight. And why? Because the consistency was there. You guys are just repeating the same thing over and over and over again. But this time you guys have a little bit more support, or you should have more support.
And you should have the information, right?
And the information is there.
That's what I think a lot of people lack in the beginning. And I know it's like a confusing field and a new realm to get into, and like, how do I lose weight in a smart way? But I think at this point, you guys know, with all the content, all the videos we've put out, it's pretty black and white. It's a pretty simple equation in terms of how you do this. And it's the same thing with any diet. If you're not consistent with it, that's where you guys are all lacking.
So quit kidding yourself. You know that you're not trying. You're not giving 100%, right? Yeah. I mean, you guys are trying, right? There's obviously improvement. We see it, and it's great. But, right, there's
the execution's not there.
It was 8 weeks of just going hard. So,
well, and that's the point of the challenge, right? Like, okay, you have made some changes, but it's still not there. So challenge you to take the next step.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the next level, not just coasting, right? Yeah. Like, you guys know you're coasting if you're not hitting your protein goals, if you're not getting your calories on. It was supposed to be a challenge to help you encourage to perfect that, or to greatly improve that. So,
well, and the cool thing about this challenge is not only have you tracked your diet every week, so you have that log to look at, but you've also posted in the group every single week all of this stuff. So now when you take a look at what you need to change now, these 3 things that are holding you back, you can also look back at every post you've put in the group and look at, like, okay, week 1 I was not doing it right. Week 2, still not doing it right. And look at, not only what your numbers were, but what maybe you posted with that, the words like, not doing good this week. Okay. You can just kind of.
Well, yeah, and for those of you that haven't maybe made a change, like, don't look at this as like, crap, I wasted 7 weeks or 8 weeks, right? You have a log of information about yourself that will hopefully, as you actually like look back at your own like journal of this process, you'll have information to pull out of it, which is useful information, because it's like, whatever those issues are, wherever you're seeing these gaps in terms of what you're doing, now you'll know it's black and white. Like, you can look at your macro sheet, you can look at your log plan, you can look at where your weight's going, And you're not going to, and with the information we gave you, you know what's wrong. You know why you're not in a deficit. You know if you're not hitting a certain macro group. So it's not this like, I don't know why it doesn't work. It doesn't seem to work for me.
You know why.
You'll look, and if you're honest with yourself, you'll definitely know why, right? It's
Yeah.
definitely the consistency. It's definitely the actual, are you in actual deficit?
Yeah.
Or am I hitting my macros correctly? So it's going to be a couple of those like major things, right?
Yep.
The overall consistency of like if you're in a deficit or not, and then hitting the macros consistently. And we can tell you, like, we've looked at all of them, like nobody's done that. So if you guys are struggling, it's because like you guys haven't done it.
Yeah.
Like nobody's done it consistently enough where you can guarantee that's why you're not.
And that's
making the
why
progress.
nutritionists and coaches just want to beat their head against the wall when they hear that I just can't lose weight, or the person that's like, I can't gain weight. Well, then this is the example why.
Yeah.
You have all the information. You have everything laid out. We've explained to you, broke it down, gave you examples how to make this a reality, and yet the consistency is still not there.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, right? Even though the consistency's not there, we could do better, and no one's hit the protein. When we look at your guys' week 1 from what you were eating to now what you're eating on this, don't think it's a waste, because you guys are doing a lot better.
Yeah.
Right? You guys went from eating like, there was people out there eating 30 grams of protein a day.
It was bad.
Are you kidding me?
It was way worse.
And now you guys are eating like what you should be, or getting closer to what you should be eating in protein.
Mm-hmm.
That is an improvement in itself. So pat yourself on the back for that. It's not a waste. We didn't spend 7 weeks and you didn't gain anything out of this. You guys now are eating better, performing better. Mm-hmm. You know what? And looking better, right? There's small changes that we see.
Mm-hmm.
Just we need to dial it in, because that was the whole point. So to wrap it up, right, to just kind of go over what we want, right? This is the weed out week, right? If you're not hitting your protein every single day this week, and we do not, within 10 grams, you can be 10 grams shy or 10 grams over, right? I don't want you to go way over on your protein, because that doesn't make any sense. I don't want you to go way under, obviously, because no one's even getting close. But if you're not within that 10, end caps of your protein goal, you're out. It's no longer for you every single day, right? 7 days this week, you guys should hit your protein goal. I don't care about fats. I don't care about carbs. I don't care about calories. I just want that protein to be where it is, which we have done the calculations for that. It should not be 60. It should not be 90 unless you are weighing 115 pounds. Then maybe it's 90, right? Mm-hmm. So hit your protein. If you need help finding that number again, look through the Fury 56 where you posted it. Look through or reach out to us. We'll help you calculate it again.
Yep.
2, look within yourself to find why you're not being consistent. Write it out and give us a plan of attack of how you propose to fix it. Don't be vague, right? It's too easy just to say, I'm sorry, or this was a bad week, or I wasn't focused. Stop that, right? Just do the work. You guys have 2 more weeks left. Push hard. This is the end. This week is especially important because we are going to weed out people that aren't making the cut, right? Because we're getting closer and closer to picking the winner. And right now we are choosing from a handful of people that are maybe 60, 70% consistent, mm-hmm. right? So push yourself to the top. Show us that you can be 100%. And proteins are the only focus. So like you guys don't have to worry about anything else. And the last one is the little Fury 56 cook-off. Good macro, high protein snack, right? Could be salty, it can be sweet. Bring it in, post it, and bring it in, and we will judge it and post little videos about, scoring it. So I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I didn't want to make it a Debbie Downer episode, but someone has got to, give you some tough love here.
Yeah, we do it because we love you guys. So
Yeah.
That's the point of it all.
Just to push you, right? If we just kept saying good job, good job, good job, you guys aren't going to change anything,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we can't keep adding stuff on when the original stuff isn't being done.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that in mind, build yourself, conquer adversity, conquer this week, conquer your consistency, and repeat every day this week for 7 days, and you will not be weeded out. Punch the tray.